Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thanks for joining us again in another one here on the Coach's Desk. We appreciate you being here. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And in doing so, please go over to the Coach's Desk Unlocked and also subscribe to that backup channel. All right, so Shericka has entered the chat. Yes, Shericka Jackson has entered the chat. This is going to be Shericka Jackson's first race after national trials. Yes, and she'll be competing in a 200 meters. And we all know that Shericka Jackson is the reigning 200 meters champion. It was one of those seasons where Shericka had a fabulous season, running 21-4 at wills, at will. She was just stepping and stepping and stepping and just crushing opponents left, right, and center. My word, that was such a phenomenal season by Shericka Jackson. Following that season, she got hurt. She was competing in another 200 meters race and she got hurt. And, that certainly derailed her for several months. Yeah, she wasn't even able to perform at the Olympic Games in both 100 meters and 200 meters. Now she is back this season. She has looked, refreshed. She has looked, fit in my estimation. And I mean, she's just pretty much going through her paces to ensure that she stays healthy. And what I'm seeing is, even though we have a 22.5 from Shericka Jackson in terms of her season best, I'm not reading too much into that because Shericka has been there and done that in the 200 meters. And what I'm seeing is where, she's going to be going to this meet in Budapest. Yes, she'll be going to Budapest. That's in Hungary. And she'll be taking on the likes of Daryl Nita in that 200 meters. No, that meet will be on August 12th. It's a continental tour event and it's one of the golden events. So what do we expect from Shericka? Well, for me, I am looking for Shericka to actually, put in a decent shift. And I'm also looking for her to be injury free. Many things can be looked into after she does that race. I'm not gonna say times. I'm not gonna put times to it. I'm not gonna I'm just gonna be looking keenly on how she react to the gun, her turn, and how she finish. Yeah, because we want to see Shericka back to her full fitness. I mean, persons have said that they want to see actually a 21-9, 21-8 to say, Shericka is able to defend her titles totally. But for me, I'm not looking into that. Still have a few more weeks to taper off, probably 5. When she run, probably about 3 weeks to taper off. And that is enough time for anyone to get sharp. Also, too, persons are going to be paying keen interest in this one because several of her competitors are doing exceptionally well. When you look at Julian Alfred 21-7, she's pretty much on the brink of winning that double. She's one of the favorite to win the 1-2 double, but I am not certain if Shericka is going to allow her title to just go like that. It has to be wrestled away from her. She's not going to give it up, right? Also, you have the new kid on the block where 200 meters is concerned, running fine in the 100 meters. That's Melissa Jefferson Wooden. She's doing pretty decent. She won the national trials in the United States where she clocked 21.8. Yeah. And for me, in my estimation, she has not learned how to run that 200 meters because if she does, I certainly believe that her time could have been better. Many persons will say, I mean, they're not going to look too much into what she did at Hayward Field. They have to see her do it outside of that field in a different jurisdiction, so to speak. She is in fine form. She has a 10-6 in her leg as well. So when you look at these things, there's a lot of competition out there now for Shericka. You have Dina Asher Smith, who actually moved back home to London. She ran 22.1 to win her national championship. So these athletes are getting back to their form. One thing that we are assured of is that knowing who is conditioning Shericka Jackson, the Francis brothers, then certainly the fans are not worried. Some, mark you, some are worried that Shericka is not back to her best. Hence, they might feel as if this title is gonna be wasted this season. She's not gonna get it. But again, there's also this speculation that Shericka might do one event, but she actually ran at the national trials in the 100 meters. She was second behind her clubmate and teammate Tina Clayton. She did 10.88. So when you look at things, Shericka is right where they want her to be, in my estimation, right? I think she's at a good place. It's just for her to execute. It's just for her to, believe in herself, believe in what she knows her body can do, and just go out there and probably silence the critics. But it's not more so about that for me, and possibly not for her team. It's merely about going out there, execute, and whatever comes. Because even if she doesn't win, I think they might be in for something different from what the fans are looking at. But of course, every athlete goes out there to compete to win. So I'm looking forward to her winning. And of course, she probably and possibly is looking forward to a win in that as well. So this is going to be very interesting, people. Very interesting. This is one of those cagey seasons from Shericka Jackson. And you can understand, especially coming off such an injury that she's off. She started out her season doing 60. She ran a few relays. She ran 200 meters. She ran 300 meters. So she's cautiously putting herself back into running. She also indicated that it felt difficult, to be in that space again running, and she felt like she was learning to run again. So I think they have looked at it a little bit different for Shericka this season. And I believe that she's going to explode at the championship. Yeah, we might think otherwise, but I certainly believe that she's going to be exploding. She's going to be doing crazy stuff. And we might very well see a vintage Shericka Jackson back on track. Yeah, many people liken this type of thing to when Elaine was running, not running a lot in the season, and then she go to the championship, boom, and win the 1-2. So it is still MVP we are talking about. But I just leave it at that. I'm happy that Shericka has entered the chat, and we look forward to see her compete. Until next time, people. Peace.